You'll see a lot of stuff all over the place because the plaster fell down in my bathroom. And I had to take all my clothes out, all the stuff. I took my painting down because they were doing the hall. So that's why everything is all jumbled up.
This is yours. And this is yours.
This one's mine.
Man, I couldn't do this with anything.
Thank you very much.
Or maybe I just have more muscles if I were.
Try going up and down the steps.
Trying to get
Excuse
at
me?
it.
Have you gotten stronger?
You know, if I didn't have arthritis, I would say yes, but unfortunately, my whole body is dislocated, and I'm walking on joints that are not right, so it makes it worse.
Okay.
If I didn't have the arthritis, I'd probably be pretty strong, but this is getting worse. It's not getting, the good shoulder is going down. If I didn't have arthritis, it would, well, it's not, that's why I'm careful. I try to balance everything every other day. If I work one day, rest one day, work another day. But if I do 2 days in a row, I'm finished.
So you're saying that you purposely tailor your work schedule so you don't have to do that.
And they're
trip.
wonderful for me at work. They really are. They know exactly my problem. I even have a traveling wheelchair at work, which that made it easier for me. They're wonderful at work. Wonderful.
She could have a wheelchair here, but without the elevator, there's no place to put it.
I meant to tell you, I did a lot of painting for the ballet too. I made the tank tops and the tote bags and paintings and Christmas cards for the boutique. So I did that as well as working for them. So that's why you see all the paintings and all this stuff. That's all my stuff. I make everything.
Did the bathroom ever get fixed? Or is it
They
still-
plastered it, but they haven't painted it yet. You can look in there and see.
I suspect there's a larger story about maintenance issues in this
Gotcha, I'll look
building.
in it.
So if you could,
How long you been doing that? How many years? I mean,
3
months?
years.
3 years?
I have the correspondence here that it started in 2010, and they made all these promises. And as I say, when the elevator did work, it never worked very well. It was always unlevel when it came to our floor. It would break down every 10 days, but at least it was something. So they kept promising it. It stayed that way for a couple of years. And then the latest was in October of 2012, they put a big notice up saying this elevator will be out of commission from now until the end of February. It will be fixed. They didn't even have any contractors at that time because a couple months later, we saw in the paper they were advertising for contractors. That was a big lie. And when they shut the elevator down, it had been working fairly well up to that point.
And also, it didn't work all the time. They had time limits, like from 10 to 4 or 10 to, I don't remember.
Oh yeah, right. That was another thing. You couldn't. In the beginning, we could only use it in the morning from 10 to 12, and then the afternoon from 4 to 5. I mean, it was so ridiculous. And we had what do you call it? Of course, we never had an intercom system. So when the elevator was out of commission like this, heaven forbid on the weekend, if you wanted to do anything, you couldn't because there was nobody there. You couldn't go down to let anybody in if you can't walk. You can't order anything because they can't get in the door. We had security, which they wrote back to me and said they never had security. We did have security. We also had someone at the desk who was very kind and would help out with all kinds of things. When she left, everything went to hell. So we have no intercom, no security. And I think I told you the story of when I had fallen one day outside the door. And the big, I call him the chief kahuna, I don't know what I guess the main guy, saw me because I fell right in front of him. And he looked at me and he said, "Ha ha 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 ha, you're so lucky, you're so lucky, you didn't fall in cement, ha 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 ha," and walked away and left me, just left me. I had to wait until some stranger came so I could hoist myself up on a chair to get in. And then my friends told me that he went around the building telling everybody how funny he thought that was. And that's supposed to be the head man.
No, she does all this wonderful artwork. With pictures.
Where's the restroom?
It's in there. Now, I see that it looks like it's been leaking even after they left it. I see streaks
I
coming
have to
in.
go in. Yeah, do you want to get in there?
See, you'll notice that the plaster is folding down all over the place. Because originally, I'm going back almost 3 years ago, they had a meeting and they brought the committee in here and they said they were going to move us temporarily to another place where they could fix everything up. Nothing ever happened. And then as I got more incapacitated, I had things close to my bed because it's too hard to get up. So now if I ask them to do anything, I don't know where to put the stuff for them to do it. But everybody's place is like this. Their ceilings have fallen in, their plaster is gone, everything is a mess. So I'm one of many. Now I'm at a point where I don't even care. As long as I can just get down the steps and get up the steps, I just have to take one day at a time. But that's why it's in such terrible condition.
They
And-
did offer her another place, but it was very inconvenient.
Can you speak to that, Karen? We mentioned that you didn't want to move because you've lived here for so long. Can you just mention how long you've lived here and the offer that they made to you and why you didn't take it?
Sure. I've been here now, I would say about 12 years. And then when this got really bad, they offered me a place in the building 2 doors away. Well, there were quite a few reasons why I turned that down. Number one, my biggest problem is when I try to take a taxi getting to work. And that particular building, all the cars are parked there, which means the taxi would be in the middle of the street. I have no place to sit and wait because trying to get a taxi, for me, they don't want to pick me up because I'm handicapped. That would have been a big problem. Plus the fact that street was always flooded, always. You couldn't even get out the door. Number two, one of the main reasons, it was totally isolated. Nobody spoke a word of English, not one word. And here I have a lot of friends, they're like my family. I would have been so isolated, number two. Number three, for me to move all this stuff and unpack it and do what you have to do, I could never do that and work. Because when I moved in, I was a lot stronger than I am now. And I did everything myself. I lifted everything myself. I did the pictures. I did everything. Now I can't do it. And there's nobody there to help me. I couldn't work and do it. And then to go around and change everything, like my ID, my bank account, I have to pay somebody through the nose to drive me. I don't have that kind of money. It would have cost me a lot of money. I would have been miserable. Plus the fact I saw there were a lot of things that I needed that they did not have. And I'll never get it. Because they have one man that takes care of all these buildings. One man is not Superman. He can't be everywhere. And they don't speak English. So I felt like I would have been born in the jungle somewhere. That's the way I felt. So
Can you explain to me what your condition is? Arthritis? And
it's degenerative. Well, actually, if you really want the technical phrase, I have spinal stenosis, which means a narrowing of the spine. I have osteoarthritis, which is osteoporosis, and arthritis. And I haven't been to the doctor with a shoulder, but I'm pretty sure it's a dislocated rotator cuff. And that's where most of my problems are coming now, because I need that arm to hoist myself. And without that, I won't be able to move. And if I had surgery, I couldn't afford to be out of work all that length, because I couldn't even use the walker. So I have to live with it. But this makes it like triply hard, really, really hard.
Can you tell me where you work and do you also get disability or how do you?
No, I don't get any disability. No, no. I tried once to get disability, and I found out the only way I could get disability is if I was declared mentally incompetent. You have no idea what I went through with the city, even trying to get food stamps. It was so horrible that they finally offered me $10 a month, and I said, you know what? You keep it. You need it better than I do. So I don't get food stamps. I don't get disability. And I'm so happy to be working, because if I can't create, I'm miserable. I write, I compose, I still sing. Oh, I show you pictures. I used to do shows here at this hotel. And
You
yeah,
on the wall?
yeah, pardon me?
Are these pictures of you on the wall?
Well, some of them are. That one is, but that's the Carol Burnett, who, because I had worked for her, I had sent her a letter, and Barbara Walters, because I had worked for her father in New York. There's a lot of, and the belly dancer is now a big star. She's my protege, so, yeah. Yeah.
So can you tell me where you work and what you do?
Where I work for the Miami City Ballet, and what I'm doing now mainly is clerical work, because I couldn't climb the steps at the beginning in the old building, and then they moved me in the new building. They did it for me to make less stress for me, so it's a perfect job. And then also,
It's around the corner.
yeah, it's just 2 blocks from here. And also, as I say, I like to paint, so I did a lot of painting of tote bags and tank tops for the ballerinas, which they sold. And then I did a lot of greeting cards. I made quite a nice little sum with the greeting cards. So I did some artwork for them and the clerical work in the office. But they were so kind to me, because they knew there's some days, if it's pouring rain, really, really coming down, I can't make it. They know that. Or they know some days with arthritis, you have one good day, one day you're out of commission. But they understand that. They know they're as kind to me as anybody could possibly be. I love it. I mean, I look forward to going to work. I really do. I love it. I really do. So I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I'm very happy with the job and so thankful that they still have me there, though. So, It's been a long time, 18 years of working there. Yeah.
Do
yeah.
you leave your house for any reason other than your job, or is it so difficult that you just...
And I have to have somebody drive me. I go to the shows at the Arts Center. And as I say, in the beginning I was doing shows here when the elevator was working because I was able to carry the equipment down the stairs. And if you notice, the tables were high. So I was sitting on a high enough table that people that didn't know I was disabled didn't even know I was disabled because I almost looked like I was standing. But now the elevator's gone, everything, that whole regime is gone.
She does go to Publix.
I go to the ballet, I go to the opera, of course I go shopping, and I only go to the doctor if I'm dying or almost dead. You'll maybe take me to the doctor, but other than that, no.
Do you try to plan your day around...
I have to plan my day around everything. Is this person available? Is work time is the right? Is there somebody can drive me? Can I get a taxi? I mean, I can't even sleep at night because I have to depend on so many things just to get through a day. Just to get through a day, it's a nightmare. I mean, thank God I have wonderful friends. I really do. And I have a lot of people, when they're available, that would help me. And I don't know what I would do without that. I really don't. They've been, Fran is one of them, been the salt of the earth, really. So I'm very, very lucky. I'm lucky that I have good friends. I'm lucky that I'm able to do this because many people in this building that are in my position have the same thing, can't get out of bed. The only thing they do is go to the doctor. And if I didn't have my outlets, I don't know what I'd do. Because I compose, I write poetry. I've had two of my articles published in magazines already. I paint, I do all these things, and this is what keeps me going. If I get depressed, this is what I live for. But otherwise, I'd be just flat on my back in the bed.
What aren't you doing because of the elevator?
Pardon me?
What aren't you doing that you used to do because of the elevator?
I can't even get out for a nice day. If I wanted to get out and go to the park, go to the beach, just to walk around, I can't do it. And I like to eat out. It's a change of sceneries. I don't care what I eat in this cup of coffee. I can't do it. I have to find somebody that's available, and they probably don't want to or don't have the time or can't afford it. And if I do, I pay for it. So I'll pay for transportation, I'll pay for their lunch, and I don't have a lot of money that I can do that all the
She
time.
also would probably get an electric wheelchair if she could bring it
Yeah,
up
I wanted
and
to get a
down,
scooter.
so that she could go, to Lincoln Road or, whatever.
Yeah.
She just is stuck here because
I'm
there's no
stuck.
way.
Yeah, and that's, as I say, if I didn't have my hobbies and my outlets, I'd be just like everybody else here. I probably wouldn't get out of bed because with arthritis, you don't really want to get out of bed because you're in pain all the time. All the time, it never lets up. But again, the choice is up to us. I either can go that direction. I don't want to go in that direction. I don't want to be disabled. I don't want to be in bed. I don't want to do any of those things. And so far, it's hard, but I manage. I try, and I meditate. I have my own regime that I do in the morning. I do meditation, little yoga, affirmations, and again, I couldn't get through the day without it because it really helps. It really does, and it helps with an attitude as well. So, but as I say, I guess the loneliness probably is the biggest function. Knowing that you just want to get out in the sun and you can't unless 3 people are available to do it. You never told me, you stinker. You never told me what you did.
Me?
Yeah.
The video?
I've probably talked to you 3 times now, and you've been very upbeat every time. I mean, do you have bad days as well?
Oh, but I don't show my bad days. My bad days are at night when I'm alone because it's very difficult to sleep. I lay awake half the night with the pain, and sometimes I do break down. I get depressed and I break down, but again, I'm trying to live up to my own philosophy because I am writing a book, and part of what I've written in the book are what I live by. I'm trying to live by my own words because bad things happen to good people, and it's not so much what happens, it's how you react to it. So 2 people could fall off a bridge and break their leg, and one person will commit suicide, and the other person will say, well, I got another leg, I can manage. And that's what I want to pattern myself after.
The lack of the elevator aggravates the arthritis.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. This is really aggravating. That's what scares me. Because when I was kidding about losing my pants, I wasn't kidding about that. It was 2 days ago. I was it was one of those days that's a bad day, and I could not make it up that first step no matter how hard I tried. So I only got halfway up, which is in the crook of your back, but that was pulling down all my pants and all my underwear. I couldn't help it. And that could happen again, because with arthritis, you get some days you just can't move. And then you may wake up the next day and feel great. That's part of the disease.
Have you ever fallen down a couple steps?
Oh yeah, I did. I fell about a year ago on my coccyx bone, and that's why I have all the padding, because I had to go to the hospital with it. But again, there's nothing you can do for that except rest. And every once in a while, I feel it now going out. So that's why I'm all padded with this pillow and stuff. And then I do my exercises on the bed and stuff to try to get it back in shape again. But every time I do this, it irritates it. So I'm scared. I mean, I am frightened. There's no question about it. I don't show it, but I am frightened. I'm frightened all the time. But I try not to show it, because what can I do, you know? Just make the best. You get lemons, you make lemonade. You know?
You,
Sorry.
you seem very proud, you know, your makeup is done, your hair is done, and I'm just picturing you out there with your pants down. I mean, how does that feel?
It was something that happened, and that's part of my book too. I was very depressed for a while because I had sung all over the beach. I did the Opera Guild, I did all the show hotels. There's hardly a place in the beach I didn't work. And they knew me for years as a prima donna. You know, I was the big thing. And then suddenly people that had not seen me would say, oh my God, oh God, look at you, what happened? And that would just destroy me. And it took me a long time to get over that. And, you know, to wrestle with it, to deal with it. And then one day I was in Publix, and a little boy came up to me. He was only about 7 or 8 years old, and he said, did you hurt your leg? And I looked at him, I said, yes, I did. I said, I hurt my leg. He said, is it going to get better? I said, oh, yes, it'll get better. He said, can I ride in? It was a motorized cart. He said, can I ride in the cart? And I said, well, you're not allowed to, but you can sit on my lap if you want. And I went home and I thought, how does anybody know what my problem is? They don't know I have arthritis. I could have hurt my leg. I could have fallen off a roof or something. You know, and I thought, I'm the one that's holding me. I'm the one that's feeling so bad. And I thought, that little boy put something in my mind, and I thought, why do I have to pretend, you know? Suppose I just did hurt my leg. This doesn't have to be permanent. Who knows? Only I know. So it kind of uplifted me and changed my mind. And when you say making up stuff, I do that because it makes me feel better. If I look in the mirror and I think I look nice, it makes me feel good. If I look horrible, then I'm really going to wind up feeling horrible. And so I do that mainly to make myself feel better. I do anything I can to make myself not look like an invalid, because I don't want to be an invalid. I don't want to think like one, act like one, or be one. I really don't. And I'm doing everything I can to fight it and change it and maybe be an inspiration to somebody else. And people have been after me to get a motorized scooter, which I probably could get through Medicare. But the problem is they give you these great big things with great wheels, and I say there it makes me feel like Methuselah. You know, I might as well crawl over the bed with the covers and end it all. And then I saw these little scooters that you could use. Anybody could use it. You don't look like you're, you know, handicapped. And I thought, that's what I want, but it's not covered. So now I have to work harder to see if I can save my money to get it, because then I'll feel like a human being, because nobody will say, oh, look at her. I will feel better about myself. So I'm doing everything that I can think of to make me feel better, which in turn might make somebody else feel better, because I've heard many people say you're an inspiration, and when I feel down I think I am, but I've heard that so much I think, great, because that's what I want to do. If I had the means, I would do anything I could think of to help somebody else, to inspire them, to help them, or be an inspiration to them, because I know what it is. I really know. And as a matter of fact, the Salvation Army called me, because I always donate to them. And I must have filled out a questionnaire or something, and the man called me long distance, and he said, I love what you wrote. And I said, I didn't remember. I said, what did I write? He said, you wrote how you wanted to do something to help other people that couldn't get out and couldn't get around. And I said, yeah, I would do anything to try to make that possible. He said, we have an organization that does that. And he said, we'd like to come down and speak to you personally. And would